What's up, guys? Welcome to brobeatz. Today I'm going to be going over some things that I want to see change in FL. If you have any changes you want to see, make sure to comment down below the changes that you want to see or anything that you think would be cool if added. But I have about 10 of them, 5 being the ones that I want to see change the most. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so a lot of these will be kind of like quality of life or convenience changes, anything that will speed up the workflow. And for me, what I really hate doing is switching between menus and stuff. And I know it's not that big of a deal, but it is annoying when I'm picking sounds. So basically the first one here is pretty much assigning the like a part of the mixer to each VST. So if I have this VST set to track 1, there should be a button up here somewhere, right? It could be like an M or whatever. You click it and pretty much it'll pop out a mini mixer. Now I would like it to be more kind of low key than this, right? So maybe if it's kind of like this size, right, but you cut it in half, that way you can still have your slots, and pretty much you can kind of sound design on the fly while you're picking sounds, right? You can try out new effects. And I know some people are like, well, you can just pop up the mixer like this. Well, you have to understand that is not how I at least make music or beats, right? You know, I'm always switching between the menus, but I think it'll increase the workflow if we can have something like that. And I think it's pretty realistic. Like, I don't think that would be hard to do. So that is the first one. I'm gonna just leave it at that, keep it simple, and let's go on to the second one. Next up, we have labeling and assigning keys in the piano roll. Now, I think this would be incredibly helpful, especially for VSTs like this. So just being able to label these will help if you want to use key switches and stuff. So even if you go up here to view, they have kind of key labels. So I think they can just improve on this and add a system where you can just customize it. So if you right click, and right click doesn't do anything in this DAW right now on the piano roll, you can probably just rename it or even color the key on the keyboard or whatever. And I think that'll just make this a lot better. And as far as the key switches, maybe, you know, a more advanced part of it would be to just drag it, like click and drag the key over to assign it to a key, or maybe even down here like a key switch panel that will like maybe have blocks. And let me see if I can, so maybe it'll have like a block like this, right? And this will be assigned to a key switch, and then whatever you play here will pretty much be playing whatever this key switch switches the play style to be. So that is it for that. Let's move on to the next one. All right, now this is a big one that I know everybody probably wants, and this is just color customization. Now, it doesn't have to be crazy, but every other DAW that I use, they have this, right? Where you can just change the color of the interface. And I don't understand why FL doesn't have it yet, right? Like, you can already do it with a lot of things, but just commit. Like, why? Like, do you just like the color gray? I don't understand. Like, if people want their DAW to be black or whatever color, just let them, right? It doesn't really matter, right? I shouldn't have to go and do my own stuff to just get these colors and stuff, right? Like, I feel like that's just the most basic thing you should have in any DAW, especially nowadays, or any plugin or program that you have. Customization is important. So that's just a short one. They probably won't add it, but I'll just put it in the video anyway. All right, so now we're going to be going over drum grooves and swing. Now, the drum sequencer in FL is pretty much the thing that sets it apart from every DAW. It just makes the workflow a lot easier. So why can't we just improve on it? So I have XO right here. And what I would like is an improvement on the swing, right? I'm tired of these like goofy robotic drums and all these workarounds you have to do to kind of get groove in your drums. It's just doing too much. All right, it's 2022, it's not 2009. Okay, we should have these systems in place already. And this swing, it's cool, but it just doesn't sound that convincing, right? It'll help a little bit, but it's like, wow, one knob, right? Like, come on now. So with this, all you really need to take from this, okay, is the individual swings. So you turn this on and you have all these different types of swings, and I want every single one of these types. You can rename them, do what you got to do to not get yourself in trouble, but I want all of these in there. Okay. A nudge. All right. And then a global. So it's pretty much everything from up here down here on the global swing. And these actually sound really good. They make them sound realistic, like a human is playing them. So we need grooves and swings in FL. And to implement them, I think the perfect place is, you already have this grid here, right? already takes up a lot of space. So why not just add an extra one that says swing and groove, and then it just will have a little bar system that you can change at the bottom here. Simple as that, right? I don't think they'll add this, but it is what it is. The first DAW to add this, I'm switching. Simple as that. All right, so this next one would be super ambitious, but a simple version of it I would be perfectly fine with. It's pretty much a musical mode. Now, I know other DAWs have this, and if you don't know what that is, it's pretty much a way for you to kind of bypass music theory. You can kind of just edit chords on the fly. So if you want to change this chord, you can click a button and it'll give you other options to use within this entire chord progression, right? So it'll just make things 10 times faster and easier, and you don't have to guess and check as much. But what I would like at the very least is a chord identifier. So say I just throw in some random notes, maybe somewhere like above where this is at, it'll have like the chord name or something like that. And I think that would be extremely helpful. So there's that. I don't think it'll be added, but it's just nice to mention. So let's move on to the next, which will be kind of honorable mentions. All right, so we're done with our top 5. So our next 5 are honorable mentions. And the first one would be drag and drop functions for almost every parameter in FL. Now, the best example I can give of this is in Serum. If you want to map an LFO or anything in here to any other parameter, all you have to do is drag and drop. So you can drag this and you can literally pop it right here. You can edit it. I think if you can somehow add this drag and drop feature for everything, like, I don't know, if I want to, real quick for an example, if I have scalar and if I want to route scalar to Serum so that I can use the chords and stuff, I think a simple click and drag and then drop it over Serum, it should automatically route it the correct way. Right, so that's just a simple one. So let's move on to the next one. All right, so I'm gonna just run through these last 4 because they're very simple. So the next one is automating any parameter or knob in a VST or just in the DAW in general. So if I just want to kind of automate this or make an automation clip within FL with this knob, I should be able to do that. Okay, so moving on. Now we have being able to color pretty much any of these keys without messing with the MIDI channel, because some VSTs don't allow you to actually use all of them and play every note. So if I wanted to use a blue, right, and this is kind of picky, but it's just something I think should eventually be updated. So if you see, if I have the blue, it's on MIDI channel 3 now. So in some VSTs, I won't be able to hear these notes. So I think we should be able to turn it off so we can just kind of color some of the notes that we want. And then with that, and I'll just delete a few of these, down here in this control panel area, I think we should have an ability to snap to grid vertically, because right here you can snap to grid already horizontally, but you can't do it here. So I think we should be able to do that, or maybe you can, I just don't know where to find it, but I think that should be added. And the last one would be a better automation system and fader system. So obviously other DAWs already kind of mastered this, just because some DAWs are made for like mixing and stuff. But I think if we just had a little bit of a better update on this, it would just make things a lot easier. So even with crossfading, there should be like some knobs up here that we can just kind of use to kind of mess around with the audio and mess with the levels. So right now you'll have to click this and go to crossfade to get that, right? And then even still, you can't really, maybe I should do it like this. Right, you can see it's kind of annoying to do. And then if you want to like mess around with the volume, you have to actually pull one up rather than it being implemented. So that's pretty much it. Those are my changes. I'm not sure if anything will get changed. Be sure to leave a comment with something that you think would be cool to add to FL, and hopefully in the future we'll see some of them. But that's gonna be for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.